Hey everyone, it is Dave. Welcome in. It's time for Module 4. Module 4 is really important to us because it marks the halfway point in the class. This week you're going to be taking your midterm exam. You're also going to be submitting your journal entries. The midterm itself, I think, is pretty easy. It's 50 questions, multiple choice, and you also have 2 essay questions at the end of the exam, so make sure to leave time for those. You do have 75 minutes, which is a normal in-person class time of how I would have taught this class when we met 2 days a week. And that's all you have to do for this week. So there is some flexibility for you as far as finishing up some lectures you may have missed, completing some journals that may have been missed as well. And again, all of that is due by September 8th. After the midterm, modules 5, 6, 7, 8, all of those modules are going to be comprising the final exam. So nothing prior to this is on the final. And we also kind of switch gears as far as the art that we look at. Normally, right now we've looked at traditional art. We're going to be moving into modern art, the avant-garde. So it's some really cool artwork. Picasso, Pollock, Mondrian, just to name a few artists we're going to be studying. So I'm going to take you over to the Canvas site. I'll walk you through this module. All right, here we are on the Canvas site. Module 4 is this week. Up top, of course, you have your weekly video. For the introduction, it's just a reminder of what the exam is going to look like. A reminder that the midterm covers the first 4 modules of the class while the final covers the latter 4. We do have an optional lecture this week on test-taking techniques. I'll talk about that in a moment. You want to do well on the midterm exam, but no matter how well or how poorly you do on the exam, and hopefully you do well, make sure to continue on working with the class. The idea is that you finish the course and those latter assignments can really bring up your grade. And you also kind of now know the format of what the final exam is going to look like. And of course the difficulty level. The midterm exam has to be taken by September the 8th, as journals also have to be submitted by September the 8th. This is a lecture I did when I was teaching classes in College Success. And it was kind of one of those moments where I realized that no one really sits you down to show you how to take a test or some ways to go about it, some ideas of practicing and some techniques that will get you a higher score. So that's what this lecture does. It's about 25 to 30 minutes in length, but well worth the watch, especially if you're early on in your academic career. So this is something that is, I think, very invaluable. For the worksheet here, the test-taking techniques is something we would have done in class. So it just brings you some options to think about. Normally this would have been a more group discussion, but since we're a remote class, you can just read through this. It's nothing that needs to be turned in or anything like that. It's just part of what I used to do in an in-class situation. For the journals here, you're just going to go ahead and submit those. Links to journals 1 through 6, just in case you miss one and you need to go back and can't find the journal. You can find it through here. Once again, September the 8th is when this is due. You can turn it in early. Keep in mind that journals need to be submitted either as one document or you can do it as separate documents. If you do it as one document, please have the journals beginning at the top of the page. Please no embedded files or links or anything like that. Those are not considered, so that will be 0 on anything like that. All documents have to be in a Word doc, PDF, or JPEG. If you've created your journals on Google Docs, just download it as a PDF. That works perfectly. And they're worth about 5 points each, so a total of 30 points. For the midterm exam. The midterm exam is timed. You have 75 minutes to complete it. Don't forget there are 2 essay questions at the end of the exam. In fact, I tend to go to those first, at least go through and read through them. And then the exam, 50 multiple choice questions. When you open the exam up, The timer will start. You'll see the timer in the upper right-hand corner here at 1 hour, 15 minutes. You'll have one question at a time, and you'll click what you think is the correct answer. You'll click the next button, and when you're done with the quiz, this button will highlight. If you accidentally press it early, it'll remind you still have a number of unanswered questions. When you answer the question, you'll see a check mark appear next to the question, so you can jump around to questions that you passed up because they were too difficult or you didn't know the answer to. Answer the easy questions first. That's the most efficient use of time, and I always tend to go to question 51 and 52. You can jump to those early and read through the essay questions, because for some of us, including me, it takes a while for me to kind of think about and formulate an essay response. So roughly, I would think about 1 minute per question on these multiple choice, and then 10 minutes each on the essay questions. And that should be the entire module for this week. Once again, next week, Module 5, we start with a clean slate for the second half of the class. So good luck on the midterm exam.